From next Monday, Hall B will be under reconstruction following the fire. Pay increased attention. Although I'm really curious about what's inside those crates, they are so well sealed I really can't find out. An empty cardboard box with the letter CBE written on it. The door is locked. Metal locker. Metal lock. There's a giant black dot on the paper. I wonder what it means. If by any chance anything legible was ever on this paper, now it's certainly impossible to read. A flyer for the Church of the Holy Koipu Beast Slayer. People are so creative nowadays. Rules for use of the dressing room. First, use only those lockers you were assigned along with your entry codes. Second, keep the dressing room clean. Nobody is interested in a mess. Third, the locker by the showers is jammed. Don't try to pry it open. We're working on it. Your management. The locker is jammed shut. Metal lock. For heaven's sake, fire! That was the last thing I was missing here. A fire in the factory.
Calm down, boy. Let an old fireman have his afterlife pipe.
Who are you and what are you doing stuck in the locker?
I am Scott Piper, the totally retired fireman, and I happened to appear in the locker somehow. And who are you, boy?
I am Ghost in the Sheet.
My pleasure. And what brings you to Omega?
I am looking for the reason for Omega's current state.
Creditable work.
Tell me more about yourself.
Well, my boy, there's nothing that interesting about old me. Once a fireman, always a fireman, they say. And now, since my candle went out, I sit here in the locker and smoke my most favourite pipe. To be honest, I thought the afterlife would be a bit different. But could be worse too.
What happened to you that you ended up like this?
I don't know either. One moment I was walking down the corridor, and the next I found myself stuck in this locker. So I figured out that I was probably dead. On the other hand, I am over 60, so I'm not bothered by that fact. Sooner or later, I'd probably have ended up in this locker anyway.
I'm not sure that this locker was your final destination.
Well, at least I have my pipe with me in here.
Tell me about Sector Omega.
Sector Omega? That was a big enigma for us all, my boy. But we didn't care. There was plenty of work, so there was no time to think about what we actually do. Isn't it funny? Only here in the locker I started to think about the factory. But it's a bit late, isn't it?
A little bit, yes. What can you tell me about Hansen?
Well, my boy, Hansen and I were the best of friends for many years. Haha, we experienced so much together. But Hansen, my boy, Hansen went nuts.
How so?
Imagine that. He started to suspect that Omega's just a cover for some terrible conspiracy and other paranoid delusions. Moreover, he told me that everything originates in the cellar, and that's why he changed the door code all the time. Poor boy. I wouldn't wish such a fate to anybody. And to my best friend, That's just sad.
And did you meet him a lot before he died?
Not much. When Hansen found out I wasn't interested in his tales, he found a new victim. That youngster, Niels. I fear he completely fooled him.
Well, looking around me, I'd be more inclined to trust Hansen. We shall see what Omega really hides. Dirac.
Jacques? He's a very nice boy. We had a lot of fun together. When he wasn't working, that is. Otherwise, he was razor sharp.
Niels.
I didn't know Niels much. He spent a lot of time with Hansen and Larissa. Rumors go that he even got involved with Larissa. But that's just among us, my boy.
Larissa.
We won't speak about Larissa, my boy. I made a faux pas, and I haven't been able to see her face to face since then.
That won't actually be a problem in your case, unless someone lets you out of the locker.
No way. I have my pipe here, and I'm completely happy.
That's enough for me. I found out about the fire in the factory in your report.
That's true. And to tell you the truth, my boy, that was too much for me. I'm no youngster anymore. But I'll tell you something. I have the feeling that the fire was started by someone to divert our attention.
What makes you think that?
Everyone was running to Hall B to extinguish the fire. It was really hard work, but eventually we succeeded. But now listen to this. I returned to the dressing room to change my clothes, and a couple of lockers were wide open, as if someone had been searching for something in there. In all the time I worked in Omega, I don't remember anything else like that happening.
That's definitely weird. A thief, maybe?
That doesn't make any sense. Nobody gets past Jacques, and it couldn't have been an inside job.
Why not?
Because when you sign the Omega contract, they give you a locker. And since I've been here, and that's quite some time, none of those opened lockers were ever assigned to anyone.
So it looks like a random thief.
Well, the strangest thing is that only those lockers which were never used were opened. Not a single one of the assigned ones.
Catch you later.
Come back to please an old fireman with a good chat, my boy.
Metal. One thing is certain. What's this for?
Who's there?
Ghost in the sheet.
Ha ha ha.
That's ridiculous. Why does everyone have a problem accepting me as a ghost in the sheet? Looking around, I have the feeling of the most ordinary thing here.
Really? The most ordinary thing? A man entering a shower where a woman is showering who doesn't want to leave and tells her that he's a ghost in a sheet?
For example, the idea of looking at me hasn't crossed your mind?
No, whenever I take a shower, I keep my eyes closed.
And I presume you're not making any exceptions because of me?
Clever boy.
Even if I asked nicely?
No.
Even if we whistled that melody of yours together?
Only through my dead body.
I have the feeling, observing your present condition, that that won't be a big problem.
Did you say something?
No. Even if I took the sheet off and died?
Maybe you could stop bothering me in the shower.
What's that tune you're whistling?
I don't know, it just kind of goes with this place.
Larissa, you're just a shadow.
Nonsense. But to be honest, I was baffled by that as well. I woke up in the shower and I was so dirty, almost black, so I immediately began to shower. I'm telling you that I was extremely lucky to wake up in here. It would have been such a shame walking through the factory so dirty. Now I can shower until all the dirt is safely washed away.
How long have you been taking a shower already?
When I think about that, I don't actually know, but it must already be a couple of days.
And the fact that you've been taking a shower for a couple of days doesn't seem strange to you?
Until everything is washed off, I'm stuck here. What would others think about me?
See you later.
Couldn't you have left already?
The locker seems to have been brought in here from the dressing room. I'm not able to. Larissa.
Nonsense. I'm telling you that I was... Now I can
For example.
No, whenever...
And I presume...
Clever.
Larissa, listen to me. Think for a while. You woke up for some strange reason in the shower. You have no clue how you got in there. You've taken a shower for a couple of days already, and you don't even know. And you don't even find that strange. You're afraid to open your eyes because you're all black. Larissa, you're not dirty. You're a ghost as I am.
A ghost, you say? I thought that to be a ghost, I'd have to wear a sheet like you do.
You're a shadow, Larissa. That's probably why you don't have a sheet.
That was a joke. I'm not a ghost because...
Because?
Well, how could I be a ghost and taking a shower at the same time?
But you're not taking a shower. That sound is coming directly from you. No water is running here. If you opened your eyes, you'd see the condition this room is in. Nobody will take a real shower in here for a long time.
You joker. Okay, so I'll open my eyes for a short moment, and if you're lying, you promise to leave immediately? I feel that's the only way to get rid of you. You're really a ghost in a sheet. That's not possible. We're not in some fairy tale.
At least now we're getting somewhere.
But how does it look in here, and how do I look?
Try to remain calm. You'll soon get used to this. It certainly took me a while as well.
Where's Niels? He would help me now.
Niels? That's exactly what I'd like to know as well. Tell me about Niels.
That crook. Imagine that. He fooled me completely. First, he told me how much he loved me. Then he seduced me, and when he realized I was pregnant, he ran away. And I still love him so much. If only I had some proof that it wasn't true, that it's a mere misunderstanding.
I have my doubts about Niels running away.
Why do you think that? Tell me anything. I'll be grateful for any clue.
I found his diary. I think that he may have ended similarly to Hansen. At least everything points in that direction.
I beg you, if you obtain any information which would shed any light on his disappearance, tell me. Until then, I don't want to speak about it.
Tell me something more about you.
My name is Larissa. I'm Actually, I was the manager of human resources here in Sector Omega. I wasn't here for a long time, but they told me that my predecessor took early retirement.
If by early retirement that meant the condition you're in now, I'm not surprised they needed a successor.
I wouldn't say that. It just all went wrong in here.
I happened to realize that during my short visit. What's the purpose of Sector Omega?
What's interesting is that although I had to manage human resources, I was never told what Sector Omega was for.
I have a feeling you weren't alone.
I have the suspicion that the only one, apart from Kurt, who knew something was Hansen, and then Niels, before he left. The crook! But I do still love him. At the contract signing, I was told rule number 1, too many questions and you're fired.
Didn't you find that a bit strange?
It was a well-paid job. It paid off to keep quiet.
Looking at your condition now, I seriously doubt that. What can you tell me about Hansen?
Hansen was a strange fellow. I didn't quite understand him, but I know he was a good friend of Neil's, and I certainly didn't want to see him come to an end like this.
Any idea what happened to him?
Well, Niels told me that Hansen went mad and jumped off the cable car. I know nothing else about it. Management put a strict information embargo on that case, that even I wasn't allowed to be interested.
Weird. Dirac.
Jacques Dirac, fanatical porter. I quite like him now, but it took me quite some time to get used to him.
Scott.
That pig! He tried to harass me. I put an end to that fast.
Just out of plain curiosity, how?
I locked him in the dressing room.
I think that's enough for now. See you later.
So it's you? Look what's happened to me because of you. If I had my body back, I would tear your sheet apart. Look at me. Look at me.
Calm down.
Calm down? Calm down? First you dress in the sheet, make fun of me, and then kill me. And then you want me to calm down?
Enough. All the time I was telling you that I am the ghost in the sheet. You never believed me. How can you say that, juvenile idiot? Despite that, I helped you, pulled you out, and then you saw me, rattled like a dog, and fell down.
Huh.
Come on, be a man. You could have actually encountered a slow and painful death. I even helped you.
And did it occur to you that someone could save me instead?
I tried.
I saw and felt your attempt.
But it was you who fell down.
Huh.
I don't think you have a reason to curse. You're immortal thanks to me.
Big thanks for this immortality. And what's it for?
Nobody can hurt you.
That's true, but also I can't hurt anyone. What if someone tries to break in?
Somehow I seriously doubt it. You don't have to sleep, eat.
And did it occur to you that I might actually like these things?
Well, then you have to take off your iron shirt. I actually can't think of anything right now. Stop whining. Death makes us all equal.
Equal? I for one see an inequality. You can fully roam around while I'm stuck here.
At least you don't have to wear a sheet.
I'd rather have a sheet than helplessly stare around at everything here.
Believe me, you won't want to have such a boss as mine. Be glad you don't have to look at the mess around here.
That's what eats me the most. I am completely helpless.
But on the other hand, there's nothing which can escape your attention.
How so?
Well, you're strategically in the best place. Nobody can sneak up behind you even if they try hard.
I didn't consider that point.
Imagine the chance to tell off anyone trying to break into Sector Omega without your explicit permission.
That's true. Now it will no longer be possible for someone to sneak in while I'm in the toilet. Thank you so much. My life's got a whole new perspective.
His face brightened. It seems it'll be much easier to communicate with him now. Do you like your new appearance?
It's not bad at all. Since my body is flickering, I don't need a lamp. It's unnaturally calm in there though.
Couldn't it be that Sector Omega is deserted? Tell me more about yourself.
It probably doesn't matter now anyway. As I told you, I was a porter in Sector Omega.
Aren't you still?
Maybe so, but I miss the everyday hustle and bustle in there. And one more thing.
What?
I can't do my periodic factory checkups. But back to your question. I was 57, freshly divorced.
At 57?
It's a sad story. For 30 years I tried to teach my wife to hang the house keys on the right hooks. And guess what happened?
After 30 years she forgot where to hang them?
Not at all. She did. But she hung the garage key on the main door hook. Can you understand that? All the hooks were clearly marked and she did that after 30 years of marriage.
The slightest possibility that you were taking it too seriously didn't happen to cross your mind?
Not at all. Order must be strict. I know it too well. It starts with a misplaced key and ends up with a mass murder.
I don't want to know what kind of mental acrobacy led you to that conclusion. Did anything interesting happen while I was elsewhere?
Peace and silence everywhere, but not order. You can see for yourself. If only I didn't have to look at so many buckets in this mess.
What can you tell me about Sector Omega?
If I were being sincere to you, Sector Omega is a big enigma to me.
How so? There's nothing that can escape a good porter.
I agree that normally it's the case, but in Sector Omega, nobody knew what was being produced. Many times I've heard workers creating vivid theories about the purpose of this factory, but nobody could actually come up with anything reasonable. Also, a large embargo placed upon any such information made those discussions very private.
I find it almost unbelievable. Sector Omega isn't so big as to be able to keep its main purpose in such secrecy. Hansen.
I liked Hansen. He was one of the few who treated me nicely. He always dropped by for a little talk before he went to work.
I found Neil's diary. Do you happen to know exactly what happened to him?
It's a sad story. He'd gone mad and jumped off the cable car.
According to Neil's diary, it seems that Hansen as well as Niels went crazy after entering the cellar. Ah, one more thing. Do ladybirds mean anything to you?
Strange you mention them. We thought at first that it was some sort of joke. Mysterious inscriptions sprayed on the walls of Omega started to appear randomly. It was considered some form of stupid, juvenile behavior. After Hansen's suicide, the view on those inscriptions changed. Unfortunately, no one was able to shed any light into their meaning or origin.
Larissa.
I've only seen Larissa a couple of times. She looked very nice, and moreover, the rumor went that she was very close to Niels.
Niels.
I didn't know Niels much. He was new in here, but he looked very kind.
Scott.
The fireman extraordinaire. I love this man. He always smoked a pipe and told us some great stories.
That's enough for now. Do you know anything about the thief in the dressing room?
That was back then the most peculiar thing. But personally, I don't believe that it was a thief.
And what do you think it was?
It was when we had that big fire in the factory that everybody was really shaken. As I remember, Hansen was shaken the most. On my periodical checks, I found him in the dressing rooms. He was swearing, using words I've never ever heard from him, and frantically punching the no smoking sign. I think that he thought that a cigarette was the cause of the fire. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one angrily slamming the locker doors.
See you later.
Before you leave, I have a favor to ask you. Since unlike me, you're able to walk around, could you please repair the fan above my head? It's so hot in here I can hardly breathe.
How can you be hot and have difficulty breathing when you're a ghost?
I haven't a clue, but I have a feeling of stale air. If you help me, I'll help you with some access or something.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.